lot of protesters, a lot of people that own property in this area in the hundreds. They're concerned about the migrants here coming here on 115th and Halsted. So we're going to show you a little bit what's going on right now.
We don't want them here. Not in our community. Not in our community. They got money for migrants, but not for... We don't have money for things, but we got money for immigrants. We have money to build cities, hundreds of millions of dollars.
What do you think about Brandon Johnson in this situation? What do you, and JB Preston, I'm gonna put both of them.
Brandon Johnson doesn't have a plan for the city in general. He doesn't know what he's doing.
There's children missing all over the place, and ain't nobody saying nothing about it. But we come up with millions and millions of dollars to house and tent immigrants, resources that are being used in our community that's not benefiting our community.
You've probably seen these clips over and over again if you're on YouTube or basically on TV, people going back and forth with ICE, trying to protect the migrants, saying that ICE is invading their space, and even though really they're just following federal law, but they are pretty aggressive. But you see that back and forth.
What you're doing is wrong.
But here's the part that mainstream media don't touch about Black Chicago residents being tired of the migrant situation. These people are being ignored who lived here for decades, tired of watching their neighborhoods fall apart while the city spends millions on newcomers. So shout out to YouTuber Martin G. Johnson again for another live stream video actually showing what's happening on the ground. Because if he didn't post this type of things, most people wouldn't even know that this protest even existed.
The biggest deal is these are war-aged men. Ain't no seniors coming over here. We don't see any seniors, and they dropping them. No women either, and they dropping them right into our community. Right in our community. They're taking our resources, they're spending money that we supposedly don't have, and they're giving it to people that are war-aged, and they're showing up in our community.
We're gonna break down some of the highlights from this live stream and how the media keeps framing this story one way, but is leaving Black Chicagoans feeling invisible in their own city. Let's get into it. So Chicago got millions for migrant shelters, but they can't find enough for the people who actually live here since birth. They're throwing more money at the migrants faster than they can fix the potholes in the city. They're building new housing for strangers, but closing down schools for kids who actually live here. And when you ask City Hall about it, they just hit you with the classic lines that we're doing the best that we can.
So tell me, why are you here today?
To support the community and not wanting pretty much what's a homeless camp in their community where there should be a grocery store. You know, at this point, most of the migrants are from Venezuela. We spent over $3 billion in 2017. I think we spent $3 billion sending it to Venezuela so that we would not have to accept all these people. We do not have the resources. We can't keep coming out of our pocket, paying the government so they could pay somebody else, and we get no government.
As you see from this interaction from the protesters to the alderman there, clearly he doesn't have the answers, and clearly he is just basically trying to save his own job while making sure that City Hall is doing the best that they can when it's not really true.
$5 million.
That's a part of it.
Okay.
That's what's been done this year.
Okay, 25 for 60,000 homeless citizens.
We care, but that's not here.
$300 million for 70,000
over 68,000 homeless in Chicago.
The taxpayers' dollars. That's the taxpayers' dollars. And then you're saying it's going to be a half $500 million, $500 million budget that for 2024.
These homeless people want a place to live too.
What's my plan? Let me tell you what I would do. First of all, it's
we care, but that's not here.
To rescind the sanctuary city status. And then I would start asking the city council to approve. We may have done that, but that was for political purpose to get migrants. All right, to get Hispanic folks. That's what it was. They never saw this thing. That was a political move, just like we embrace LGBTQ Democrats because they see that's a voting block. Those are political games. But again, I would rescind the order, and I would not ask the aldermen to spend another dime of taxpayers' dollars to fund tents, feed, you're going to put a tent up there for 1,000 people.
And you see the people in the crowd, they're saying, don't help the migrants. Some are saying, help us. Some are saying, stop acting like compassion means skipping your own citizens. But is the mayor really listening? Is Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, is he really listening? I don't think so. I think he's too busy trying to look righteous on national TV. Every clip of Brandon Johnson lately has the same vibe, talking tough on the TV about Trump, being really emotional, talking about investing in people. But when it comes to actual results, we're not seeing it.
We're not just simply resisting tyranny. We're speaking to the hopes and aspirations of our ancestors. And so immigrants from around the globe have come to this city. Those of us who came up from the South, from the great migrations as Black folks, have all formed this beloved space that I would describe as the soul of America, right? And our diversity is the soul of Chicago. And so I will continue to protect the First Amendment because it's fundamental to our democracy, and I will continue to speak to the hopes and aspirations of working people.
Well, the real Chicagoans that I talk to, that I communicate with, mostly Black and brown, actually, tell me that you don't seem to know the difference between illegal aliens and real Chicago citizens. They feel that you are siding with the illegal aliens over them in their communities. And okay. Sadly,
William, let's get to the question.
Let's get to the question. The real question is simply this. I don't know how to make it any more direct. An illegal alien from Nicaragua grabbed a woman on the north side last week, bashed her head into the sidewalk, knocked her unconscious, and her. If that had been your wife, Stacey.
Okay, all right, we're not going to answer it. Thank you. Thanks, William.
All right.
Would you want ICE to deport her?
All right. Let's move on.
Yes or no?
Let's move on.
Answer the question as a man. Not as mayor, but as a man. Would you want
thanks. Thank you.
In fact, there's even more crime happening every single day in Chicago.
Well, a stunning turn of events here this evening. All of it happening in less than a minute at this jewelry store right next to me near 26th in Springfield. Now, it is a 63-year-old man and a 25-year-old man who have died from their injuries in this armed robbery. We'll see that where you can see a Blackhawks hoodie. That is what the man is wearing as he pursues the business. He goes inside around 5:45 this evening, and then within about 30 seconds, the offender runs outside with some merchandise from the store as two men quickly ran out after him. The altercation continued in the middle of the street with oncoming traffic, and then right near the corner of Springfield, the offender pulls out his gun and shoots both victims. That is where we have frozen the video before the shots were fired in between multiple vehicles in the area. Now, those two men were quickly rushed to Mount Sinai Hospital. They were pronounced dead there.
Turning back to that breaking news out of Chicago, Customs and Border Protection says agents were shot at while conducting an immigration enforcement operation earlier today. There have been weeks of tension in Chicago over the Trump administration's crackdown on illegal immigration, amid a legal battle over whether the White House can send the National Guard there.
And something like this, and even something worse than this, are bound to happen because of the rhetoric. And the unfortunate thing is these ICE agents are simply doing a job that they're required to do.
So while Brandon Johnson is fighting political battles for clout, Chicago is literally fighting for survival. Every weekend it's the same headlines. There's carjackings, random shootings, people getting robbed. Some of these people can't walk 2 blocks without hearing sirens. So what does the mayor says? Talking about community investment, which is code for I don't have a plan. And lately, the rhetoric coming out of City Hall doesn't help either.
We have criminals coming in there, they're arresting criminals. These people are not criminals. Once you get them into homes, other people you stop. We got these here now, cut it off. Do like the other governor did. Give them a shower, a bath, some food, and put them back on the bus, send them to Washington, D.C. That's what you do. That's because they the one made that deal with them. They made that deal. Send them to Washington, D.C. The ones that are here now, they're here. You got the $33 million for it.
We need grocery stores, that's right.
We sure do need a grocery store. We got to go to Ashland and go get groceries.
The mayor's fiery language about defying ICE and standing up to federal pressure might sound bold, but pouring gasoline on a city that's already tense, it makes citizens reckless, thinking that they could take matters into their own hands while others feel abandoned in the chaos. That talk may play well online, but on the ground, it's people getting hurt. You ever notice the city finds money instantly when it's really good for their PR. They'll spend millions of dollars to look generous on camera. But when you ask for streetlights in Inglewood or heat for seniors in the winter, suddenly the budget is on life support.
This is glass. This looks like hell over here. There's no reason that we have close to $500 million right now that we can provide support to about 13,000 people, and that's coming out of our pocket. We don't have adequate schools. I think 1 in 10 black children can read, write, and do math at grade level in Chicago public schools. Couple that with the sexualization of our kids in schools, the transgender movement, how they're trying to put that religion on our children. We don't have the resources here in the city of Chicago to take care of them. We got 68,000 homeless people. They're moving veterans out of their provision and giving those provisions, the housing for veterans, they're giving to these illegal immigrants. Enough is enough. We're done. No more. No mas.
No more.
Chicago's priorities are upside down. The people paying the taxes are footing the bill for people who just got there yesterday. And people are tired of it. Now, Johnson wants to pick fights with Trump, call him racist, call him cruel, whatever. But what is that doing for the single mom in Roseland? What is that doing for the old man freezing in other parts of Chicago? While he's out there acting like he is leading some kind of revolution, people out there struggling.
We got money for camps, but not for school. And the point is, if you ain't taking care of your home first, if you ain't take care of your own house first, how you gonna take care of somebody across the street and to another place and trying to figure out how to help them? Exactly. We're not taking care of our own people. We're not taking care of our own children. That's right. We got money to put a camp up. Come on. Put them outside. They got money. It's about to be winter. Yeah. And then now, we don't have money for schools. We can go out to these schools. Half of them don't have books. You can't do nothing. The math isn't mathing, people. It's not. We need money for our community.
As one person said, they got money for migrants, but not for our homeless, not for our kids. People have been saying this for years. Different mayor, same neglect. Every election, they promise change, but all they get is excuses and new ways to stay broke. You don't get to call yourself compassion when you ignore your own people. It's selective charity. It's the kind of thing that looks good on one network, but looks like betrayal in Chicago. Meanwhile, the city is still dangerous. You still got kids dying out there before they hit high school. Businesses are scared to stay open after dark. They're getting shot and robbed. And it's the same leaders telling everyone that crime is down. But you walk outside, you realize that those numbers might lie, but the fear doesn't. This is what happens when leadership lives in headlines instead of actually what's going on in the neighborhoods. And that's why these people are upset. And this is why they're becoming more and more vocal. They're not happy with Chicago and how Brandon Johnson is leading this city. So it doesn't matter how much likes or shares or views on his rants when he's talking about investing in people and how billionaires are taking advantage of everyone. Brandon Johnson forgets to remind everyone that the richest politician in the country is his governor, J.B. Pritzker, who is a billionaire. Doesn't seem like he's really going after him a whole lot, but he wants to talk about other billionaires. The whole thing is performative. That's why Chicago is dealing with probably the worst mayor of the country. I know it's a run between him and probably Karen Bass from Los Angeles, but they have such an incompetent, ridiculous mayor who cares about his look and the photo ops than actually doing the real work. We'll continue to follow this story, but let me know what you guys think about this story in the comments below, and follow Martin G. Johnson. His link will be in the description box below if you want to continue to follow what is going on in Chicago. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.